All right, Rich Eisen is here. 22 years ago, I believe, he signed an autograph for me at the
Ah,
Tampa Super Bowl. It
mm.
said, we've spoken about this. It said, you got it. How do you sign your autographs now, Rich Eisen? Is it still you
Not
got it?
that way. Not that way. I've evolved as a human. But the Tampa Super Bowl, I think, was 2000. So
Oh my God.
it's
Oh
25
my
years.
God.
Yeah, man,
Oh,
25
I didn't
years.
expect to feel that
Yeah,
old today.
Ravens Giants was Super Bowl triple X Super Bowl 30. So
Wow.
yeah, brother, that's how long ago
I
it was.
figured out we were in an event and I figured out the
35
ESPN.
or
I
something.
didn't mean to do it. I was like walking through the hotel with my mom and I
Yeah,
saw the ESPN people here and I was like, if I just stay here for like 30 minutes, I'm going to
yeah.
meet all of my heroes. I didn't care about Ray Lewis and Kerry Collins. I cared about Rich Eisen
Gary
and
Collins.
Dan Patrick.
Are you
I don't know what,
sure?
well,
You sure you weren't trying for Seahorn? You were trying to get a
yeah, I was
Seahorn
camped
autograph?
out. I was
Sure you weren't
camped
trying to
out.
get Seahorn
All I
Island?
wanted, all I wanted was Jason Sehorn, and
That's
I
it,
had to
man.
settle for Rich Eisen and
I'll
Dan
take it.
Patrick.
I'll
I think
take it.
Steve Young was in the mix that week. What an
Oh,
autograph
sure.
book I have. I got
Look
it.
at you.
I got it. I got it. There we go.
Nice. Now
See?
you got it.
Well,
Yeah. That's right.
there you go. All right, we're gonna start here. You're back in the ESPN family. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks, sir.
Uh,
Appreciate it.
Biggest change at ESPN for you
Mhm.
now that you've been back for a month since you
Right.
returned. Like,
Oh man, I mean, I'd forgotten how powerful the platform is,
mm,
and the halo effect of just appearing on something that is ESPN. But the biggest difference is I'm not an employee; I'm a contracted partner, which is
mm,
kind of cool. I'm very happy to be back. I'm happy to be part and parcel of that world. And I guess the perfect example of the difference is after doing Sports Center that I did that was so cool that Dave
yeah.
Roberts and Burke Magnus and Mike Foss and everybody there was like, let's get you doing a Sports Center and promotion of your show going to Disney Plus and ESPN the app, and I'm like, I'm all in on that. And the reaction was so awesome that I got a call the next day from ESPN management saying, when are you going to do another? Had it been my first time around, it would have been like, you're on tonight. you know, so you asked what the difference is. That's the difference. Like when would you like to do it? Words that I'd never heard in my 7 years that I was with ESPN the first time. But I'm greatly appreciative of that being the manner in which I'm asked, and to be part and parcel of the support that I'm getting for this show, and everything around it. It's been a very welcoming embrace, and I'm thrilled about it, Kevin.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. All right, let's get to the football stuff. Baltimore against Kansas City this
Yeah,
week. Houston, you can throw into this mix. Is there we're not into overreacting. You and I we're not into overreacting, even though
sure,
it's overreaction Monday, right? We got that's a tongue-in-cheek thing.
sure.
Either of those three teams, are we
Hmm.
panicking or overreacting to? Is it okay to overreact to either of those three teams right now, Rich?
Overreacting in terms of what? That we should panic
Of just
with
saying we should
panicking?
panic about either of any
Okay.
of those teams.
You should definitely panic about the Texans.
Me too. Yeah,
When
I
you're
agree.
0-3, that's a significant disadvantage. I believe the 2018 Texans are the only 0-3 team this
Yeah.
century to make the playoffs. So that's not good. And you take a look at the way that their offense is run. Um, Nick Chubb can give you a burst here and there, but it doesn't appear to be the 25 carry um, time of possession
Yeah.
monster type running back that Nick Chubb has been, or that the Texans would need, certainly since they're having trouble protecting their quarterback up front, who clearly is feeling um, the, um, the pass rush,
Yeah.
whether it's there or not. And it looks pretty bad. And defensively, they're terrific, but the points are not there. The running game's not there. The protection for the quarterback's not there. The passing game's not there. So 0-3, I would be concerned about just on its own, but there is a 3-0 team in division as well.
Yeah.
So we're kind of looking at over the steering wheel at how fast the Texans can dig themselves out of their hole if they have the ability to do it. And if so, are we talking wild card now? The Chiefs at 1-3. I'll just take the Ravens then. If the Ravens are 1-3, I still think that they're good enough to pull it together to win their division. Starting 1-2 last year, they finished 12-5 and won their division. So 1-3 would be a different story, but the Browns don't appear to be division championship worthy. The Bengals are missing Joe Burrow for at least another, what would you say, 10 to 12 weeks?
Yeah.
And the Steelers don't appear to be better than the Ravens roster-wise.
Right.
The Chiefs are a concern because the Chargers are sitting there at 3-0 and looking like a Super Bowl worthy team. And Rashee Rice isn't coming back for another 2 games after this one. I don't know if Xavier Worthy is going to look at all like Xavier Worthy could be, or they had hoped him to be. And so I'd be somewhat concerned for them, but I think from 1-3, the Chiefs could still get a wild card, if not somehow, some way, magically pull off their division. So I'll go with an overreaction for the Ravens, 50-50 ball for the Chiefs, and an absolute you're not overreacting for the Texans.
That's well put. I'm in agreement with you there. Well, on the Texans, it's funny. I was doing Mina Kimes and I were doing a show this morning in the city.
Name dropper.
Sorry. I don't know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna say anonymous friend. Anonymous friend and I were doing a show. No. I name drop all the time.
Good for you.
It's not crutch is the wrong word. It's a habit of mine, and it comes from journalism where you have to cite your sources. And I would always say, well, so and so said this, and then when I got to do this, then I'd say, oh well, Cam Ward said this, and then people were like, we're name dropping, and I go, but I was a writer, so whatever. And then eventually I just embraced it. Now I'm a name dropper. All right, so Mina and I were talking about the Texans this morning, and one of the things we talked about was we're never going to trust a team with a bad offensive line ever again, because we always hand wave it when we go, oh, well, the top 5 defense, CJ Stroud, it's going to be fine. Great pass rush, Derek Stingley. And then the offensive line just needs to play okay. The offensive line is not going to play okay, and you can't trust a bad offensive line. It is football 101, and yet every year we fall into the trap. It doesn't matter how good your quarterback is. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. If you are not good on the offensive line, you're going to lose a bunch of games you shouldn't. It is. I feel like I have amnesia every August about a team with a bad offensive line, whether it's the Texans or anybody else.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like the runny nose of football. It's like having a bad bullpen in baseball.
Yes.
It's tough to overcome it. It'll always crop up at the worst possible time. And I'm with you, but guys can gel. It's still early. It's still early. The problem is 0-3. That's the issue. The problem is 0-3 and the Colts being 3-0. That's 3 games you got to make up, and fast.
Yes, and the Colts. Daniel Jones looks good. That's part of the problem. It's not like Daniel Jones is not like super glued together. Like Daniel Jones is pushing the ball down the field. The defense looks good. The offensive line is top 5 via PFF. Like there's something there. So it's not like they're gonna finish 9-8. They're probably gonna win double-digit games. They look good. So that's the biggest problem. You mentioned the bullpen thing, Rich. I was gonna ask you, but we'll move it up there because you brought up baseball.
Sure.
So my 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, he just started a choose program at school.
Yeah.
We live in Westchester, New York. He is completely, and I have no idea how this happened, Rich, completely obsessed with the New York Yankees. Completely obsessed.
He's a smart child.
He's a smart child. We took him to a Mets game and a Yankees game over the summer.
That's your fault. That's your fault.
And it's just like, it was his nap schedule, whatever. So we took him to a Mets game, Yankees game.
Okay.
He is consumed with Yankees baseball. Consumed with it. Wants to watch it in the morning. We watch the YouTube highlights. He wears a Yankees hat everywhere we go.
Awesome.
He knows half the lineup. I swear to you, he's 2.5 years old. I'm not joking. When Aaron Judge got hurt earlier this year, he said, where's Aaron Judge? And I said, well, he got hurt. He has a boo-boo. And he said, out of nowhere, we had no idea he knew this much. He just goes, well, Cody Bellinger's better. He's 2.5, Rich. And if he's not even right about that, but he's an optimist. Can you give my son, Teddy Clark, some advice on what he's going to embark on as a young Yankees fan?
Oh, as a young Yankees fan, he's going to get playoff appearances and potentially no World Series championships. So that's pretty much what you might get. So if you took him to a Mets game, did they not hit a home run? Because I imagine a young child wouldn't mind like seeing that big apple going up
Yeah,
and down out of the hat.
he did
Like
like
that.
it.
I'm
He
sure he
did
must
like
have
it.
liked that. But he's
He liked.
smart to stick like the Yankees over the Mets. That's a
I'm going
smart
to
thing
tell
to
you what
do.
happened. This is 100% what happened. Okay, and this is Major League Baseball's fault. We told him the Mets were blue and orange, and
Hmm.
then we got there and they were wearing their gray, ugly City
City
Connect jerseys.
Connects. I hate the City
It's a
Connect.
Saturday afternoon. So the
Mm-mm.
other team was the Colorado Rockies, and they're wearing these vibrant purple jerseys. So we
Mm.
get home, and all he's talking about is purple team. He no sold the Mets because they're wearing this awful gray thing. Remember,
Hmm.
he's less than 2.5 at this point.
Well, it's a
Then he
good thing
goes to the Yankees,
it's a
and
good
he's
thing the
got
Yankees.
pinstripes.
Sure, that's it, right.
Yeah,
It's a good thing the
yeah,
Yankees City Connect uniform
yes,
are their uniforms. That's how they
yes.
connect with the city by wearing their uniforms. You know what I mean? Like the Yankees are like, screw the City Connect stuff. They'll just charge you $15 for a pretzel. But other than that, that's how they'll make their money. But yeah, I mean, smart kid, smart kid. Back when I was in the mid 70s as a 6 year old. My brother was a Met fan, Met Jet Ranger Nick. I
Mm.
saw that the Mets were never going to give me a win, and the Yankees started going to the World Series. So I hopped on board that train, and I've been on that train ever since. I've
Wow.
got a kind of a weird hybrid New York fandom. But bottom line is there's only two teams that I root for still that emotionally affect me as if I'm still six.
Hmm.
The Yankees are one, and Michigan football's the other. Those are the two. Everything else I can pretty much put in a box and not be emotionally torn by anymore. Here I am at age 56, evolving that I now have just two teams. Michigan basketball gets that way too. So my
Yeah,
alma
if they're making
mater,
a
anything
run.
associated with my alma mater and the Yankees, that's it. Everything else I could, you know, and the Knicks are beginning to get me as
Yeah,
well.
there you go.
Jalen Brunson pulled me back in. So
That's beautiful. I will
thank
say
you.
this. You mentioned the Michigan football thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm embarrassed. I went to Miami. I'm embarrassed how much that affects me. Like on a Saturday, like when I'm watching a
I
game,
love it.
I am embarrassed at how nervous I get and how like if Miami gets scored on, I have to emotionally like enter a different I have to disassociate. I have to dissociate.
Well,
Like
I
it
mean,
is not normal.
I know Michael Irvin, and he looks like he's disassociating every single Saturday now. Um, you know, and Michael once told me he told his kids that there's three things they can't control in their lives. They can't control their religion, their last name, or the fact that they're going to the University of Miami. That's what he told me years upon years upon years ago.
That is a
And
beautiful thing.
we're seeing every sweat gland that Michael Irvin has when he's on that sideline right now. But it's exciting. It's exciting for you Hurricanes right now because you look like the real thing.
Irv is the
Pure.
greatest alumni you could
I,
possibly have.
I love him. I can't get enough of him. We don't really have God parents as Jews. But my baby naming for my daughter, we were having that a week before the opening of the season in 2000. I guess I should know this off the top of my head. She's now 12. So in 2013, NFL season. So we're having a baby naming at our house Saturday before the first Sunday of the season. And the rabbi that we got said in my ceremony, you can have, there's a speaking role for a non family member. And my wife, who invited Michael Irvin to our wedding for her side of the aisle, I did not know him when we got married in 2003. My wife had known him
Wow.
first. And my friends were all like, why is Michael Irvin
My
sitting
servant, yeah.
in an electric blue tuxedo on your wife's side of the aisle? And I'm like, I don't know. But Michael spoke at our baby naming, our daughter Taylor's baby naming. And it was one of the most moving speeches about parenting and fatherhood and life and religion. And I cannot get enough of Michael Irvin. He's one of my favorite humans on the planet.
Michael Irvin
Mm-hmm.
as your baby naming speaker.
Yes, sir.
That's it. That's it. That's number one.
He's
That's the best person to
it's
get.
good. He's the best. And it started by saying, it's interesting that a rabbi is here because people think I'm Jewish. They think my last name is Irving. Like he used all his stock humor, his Jewish rabbi stock humor. I think he has one joke. He used it, and then he gave a really impassioned speech. It really was great. It was cool.
What a beautiful man. What a beautiful man.
Yeah.
All right. We do something called one rep back. And for players, it's you get to redo a play. For GMs, it's a draft pick. For media members, it's a take. You get to take back anything you've ever said on TV. Where is Rich Eisen going?
I won't.
Oh, I love that.
I won't.
I'm
not afraid of takes, man. I'm not lasting. I'll talk about them. Talked about it this week. One of the things you said, about learning or different with ESPN or whatever. I've been at this microphone, at this desk, talking into this microphone for a decade, and on occasion we'll have some news broken here, right? And ESPN would ask for permission, and of course we would grant it to put our stuff out there. We want to be distributed fully,
of course.
But I never once in the 10 plus years that I'd sat here in front of a mic had an opinion of mine that was disseminated within the ESPN universe for fodder for topics of conversation on other shows. And me saying that the season's not over for Cincinnati because Jake Browning is a good quarterback, better than, maybe 10 other quarterbacks who are starters in the NFL. And, all he's got to do is one game over 500 with Burrow being gone, because that's what he did in the 7 games without Burrow. He went 4-3. If he's one game over 500 the rest of the way, if Burrow doesn't return, and he can return based on the out 3 months range, would put him back week 14. I said all he's got to do, if he does play the rest of the regular season, is go one game above 500. They're 10-7. They make the playoffs, and then maybe Burrow can come back. Or Burrow comes back a couple weeks before, and all he's got to do is one game above 500, and they're in the playoff hunt, so their season is not over. I thought it was a reasonable thing to say. Had no idea that many of our other colleagues and other shows would put it on a topic bar and say, have a conversation about it. And then, of course, Jake Browning just absolutely, can I curse here on this program?
Yeah, please. No,
absolutely
please.
The bed.
Yeah.
Or the Bengals do as a collective unit in Minnesota. And Browning throws a pick 6, and the rest of his teammates for fumbling, and it doesn't look good. So my take looks terrible. But I won't take it back, though. Like, I said it out of a belief.
Move forward.
But I don't care. I mean, my worst take that I've said in the history of this program, it's the clubhouse leader and will never be knocked out, was when the Heat almost beat the Lakers in the COVID bubble finals. And it was a rumor that Giannis, one of the many times that Giannis hits an offseason, everyone's wondering, does he want out of Milwaukee? And, everybody always mentions the Heat for Giannis's services if he ever goes somewhere else. And I'm like, listen, I mean, Tyler Hero looks great. Jimmy Butler looks great. This team is a unit, and some of its parts that Spoelstra knows how to coach up. Why would they trade for Giannis? Yeah. So the words "don't trade for Giannis" around these parts are thrown in my face by my colleagues almost every possible opportunity. It's a terrible take. It did not age well at all. Obviously, if Giannis is available right now, the Heat would take him. And the Heat did not win another championship, since that bubble runner-up. But I can't take it back. I won't redo anything. I own it.
I won't redo anything.
Yeah. And just lastly, I just wake up, my wife still loves me, thank God, despite my horrible Jake Browning opinion at this point. And my kids are still healthy. I knock on wood. My fantasy teams suck. I can't do anything about that.
Me too.
But other than that, I own it. I still live life. I'm a happy guy. I can own it.
Bobby Wagner on this show a couple weeks ago said,
yes, sir,
his life is so great that he's in such a place, kind of like what you just said, where, okay, let's say he begs Pete Carroll to run the ball at the 1 yard line. Who knows what happens the day after? Who knows? He's in such a good place. He doesn't want to touch the pass. And I always thought that was, but then of course, everybody else has some, I should have sacked the quarterback type of thing. So it's usually a good rubric for us. But with Bobby and Rich Eisen are the two people who are just moving forward. That's how
I appreciate that. I do feel like I am the Bobby Wagner of television hosting. I'll take that. I appreciate that analogy.
We do something called badasses. Again, normally
you do a lot.
We
You
do,
do a
we do,
lot.
we do rapid fire at the end. It's called
Okay.
Badasses, most badass person normally it's teammate, and when we have a badass
Okay.
board back here of badasses.
Sure.
But you've
Okay.
worked with some incredible people on TV, ex-players,
Mhm.
current players in some cases, depending on the season and all that stuff. You have guests. Give me the when you think about a person you've worked with who's a genuine badass, where
Okay.
do you go, Rich Eisen?
Genuine badass. There's so many. I mean, I guess it's your definition of a badass. You
I mean,
know,
it's up to you. The
my
guy who
wife,
just,
my wife is a
yeah,
badass. Warren Sapp is a badass.
yeah,
Marshall Falk is a badass. Stacey Dales is a badass. I
yeah,
mean, she's the only person I work with who's got a bat. Well, no, Marshall Falk has a banner in the rafters. Um,
yeah, it's true.
I mean, Stacey Dales is a former top pick of the WN, one of the
Yeah,
top picks of the W, I think number 2 overall pick of the Washington Mystics, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
And she once upon a time saved me from a vicious hangover that almost caused me to not answer a bell in my career for the first time on a Thanksgiving morning in Baltimore, Maryland, because Steve Bisciotti invited the entire crew on his yacht before the Thanksgiving Day assignment that we had. It was the Har Bowl in
Okay.
Baltimore on NFL Network, a Thanksgiving night game. So of course we had to have our asses dragged into the stadium at 9 a.m. Eastern time to do a pregame show for Thanksgiving triple header that we didn't have the lead-in game to. So we're sitting in an empty stadium, and we had to do this game, this assignment. And Bisciotti refused to let us leave his yacht. He handed me a cigar. I'm not a cigar smoker. I inhaled. I got sick. It was terrible. And Stacy's like, I got this. I had no idea. You know, if you take emergency,
Yeah.
that powder, you put it in Gatorade, you shake it up, you eat a banana, and you pound the Gatorade with emergency in it. It takes away your hangover. It
Whoa.
worked like a charm, man. It was incredible, and I think she learned that because she's been out there on the road as a basketball player, and she learned it. She saved my ass. I did the show. I got a text from Steve Bisciotti in the first hour saying, "I'm sitting here in bed with my head pounding. How the hell are you doing this right now?" That actually happened.
That is
So
incredible.
she's a
Shout out Stacey
badass.
Dales. We're gonna put her
She's a
on the badass
badass.
board.
She's a badass. Dion's a badass.
Yeah.
Kurt. I mean, pretty much everybody.
Yeah. They're all
They've all
badasses.
been there and done it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Last thing for you, just
Uh-huh.
quickly, Stuart Scott, obviously, ESPN family got to talk about it. He's another guy I met when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
What doesn't the general public know about just people who watch Stu Scott and have watched the YouTube clips and the old sports centers? What
Yeah.
don't we know that you know about Stuart Scott, either the person, the performer, the
Oh
anchor?
gosh,
Where do you take it?
I don't think a damn thing, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because he was genuine. That
Yeah.
wasn't an act. None of it was an act.
Yep.
Absolutely zero. That's literally who he was off air.
Yep.
The
Yep.
way he talked, the way he walked, the way he emoted, the way he did everything. That wasn't just him like sitting there like a mute or, some librarian shushing everyone around him and then just showing up on the air with a persona.
Yep.
So, that's the people
That's
who
him.
I've been around who are most successful are exactly who they are off air as they are on the air. And that was it. If you ever met Stuart, it's exactly who he was.
The greatest. The greatest.
And so, honestly, there's nothing you don't know about him, whether it was his brave battle that we all saw in public, his speech that he gave at the ESPYs while he was riddled with cancer, whether it was, him doing Def Jam poetry,
Yep.
on Sports Center, dropping his lyrics, saying booyah, saying, all of his catchphrases. It literally it was him. And then some of his family members would give him some of the latest rap lyrics that he might not have known. I guess so. One thing you might not have known is he did write everything out on his shot sheet, and booyah was spelled BOO-YOW. So it's really
Whoa.
booyah. So maybe that's something.
Booyah.
Yes, maybe that's something you don't know.
Wow.
Everyone says booyah,
Oh yeah.
but that's not
I
the
think
way
it's on the wall in Bristol.
I'm sure it
Booyah.
is, but on his shot sheets, he would write it out BOO-YOW. So yeah, I miss him. It's over 10 years now. He's been gone.
Yeah,
So
it's beautiful. Well,
right
Rich,
back at you.
We are so glad to have you back in the Disney family. The Rich Eisen Show is
Thanks, buddy.
on Disney Plus. Thank you for coming on, buddy.
You got it, man.